Hey everyone, welcome back to the Home Studio Simplified show. Let me know by way of the chat that you can actually hear me. I want to make sure that I am able to be heard and that you are able to hear that intro music and that everything there is all good. We're going to go ahead and start just a little bit early today because it sounds like I'm really hot here. We're going to go ahead and start just a little bit early because really the mixing session that we have today is not going to be that crazy. I was actually expecting more tracks than what I've got. Now, if this is your first time here, this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. The motto around here is that we can dream alone, we can even create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. Thank you all so much in the chat already for letting me know that we're loud and clear. I want to make sure that everything is coming through before I start all of this. Hopefully I'm not too loud. It looks like I'm within my system here. It looks like I'm kind of peeking out here. Hopefully not. If I turn this up, was that, whoa, hey, okay. That right there looks about right. So we'll stick with that. All right, but before we get into this, I also want to get into giving credit where credit is due. These chart toppers right here are individuals who have helped to sponsor the channel either through a monthly Patreon membership or through the YouTube join button that you see right there next to the subscribe button. That gets you access to some multi-tracks, gets you access to the theme that I use, actually a couple of different themes that I use. One of them will be the newer theme that I'm using today, just to switch things up a little bit. And at the very bottom here, you can also see our super chatters. These are individuals who have donated through a one-time donation to help the stream out, to sponsor these giveaways and the various time that's invested in doing all this. So thank you all so much. You guys rock. Can't say any much more about that. Now, let's go ahead and start talking about our session today. So the session that we have before us is the December Song Contest winner. This was by 𝗬𝗀 Music, I believe was the name of it. And if you want to know exactly how you can get involved with these song contests, we have them every single month. So there's one actually going on right now. If you want to submit a song every single month, we have these. We will allow from the beginning of the month until the last week of the month, we will allow people to upload to this folder, which I've posted a link here in the chat right now if you want to go check that out. It gives you all the outlines, the rules and regulations. Not that there's many. But then it also allows you a place right there where you can upload your music into that folder. And then that last week of the month, we all get together, we listen to those songs together, you get professional feedback, and whoever wins gets a free mix and master from me. And you can choose whether you want me to do that mix and master live or whether you want me to, like we're doing today, or whether you want me to just do that sort of behind the scenes. Maybe you're not really comfortable showcasing your vocals soloed out for people to hear or something like that. I understand it, totally get it. So that option is always there. The winner gets to choose anyway. I mean, after all, they are the winner. So if you have not checked out the previous live stream that we just did, we went over all of the stuff that we did in 2021, and it was actually quite a bit more than what I thought we had done. I was pretty impressed with myself. Give myself a little pat on the back there. But with that being said, go and check that out. There's a ton of videos there on the live stream that you're going to get live mixing, live tutorials, Q&A, whatever you can think of, it's all there. Likewise, if you're into Cakewalk by BandLab, which is, this is the DAW that we'll be using today. If you're into this DAW, I have also an entire playlist here on the channel of tutorials. I believe it's over 43 now that go in depth to learning all of that. And if you want to take that even a step farther, I have a Cakewalk tutorial course. In fact, it's entitled The Ultimate Cakewalk Tutorial Course. It's also featured on the Pro Mix Academy, so it's got some clout behind it. Some Grammy-winning mix engineers and producers are behind it, helping to back it. But this course will get you up and running with Cakewalk quickly. It'll also give you some multi-tracks so that you can then mix along with me, learn this step by step, sort of over-the-shoulder approach, and have a song to add to your portfolio after it's all said and done. If you want to check out more of that, that's also in the link that I've just provided. I'm going to go ahead and pin that link, so that way if you need to find that, it'll be easy to find. That link actually contains everything that you can think of, everything under the sun, by golly. So today we have a mix that was submitted and that won the December song contest by 𝗀𝗀 Music. And what we're going to do is just kind of go through a quick listen here. I'm going to show you exactly what I was given. Now, like I said, I was actually expecting more tracks than this because I heard this densely populated mix. I was expecting a densely populated mix. And I was like, wow, we're going to have some fun. We're going to dig into this. But with that being said, he actually sent me an instrumental track and 3 vocals. Now, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. For most of the time, whenever you're dealing with, say, for instance, a hip hop artist, this is typically what you'll get. You will get a beat that they've licensed, that they've bought themselves, and then you'll get their vocals and ad-libs with that beat. So you have to sort of get that vocal to sit inside that instrumental. So this will kind of be a little bit of a different showcasing of skills because it is still, it does still require some skills to get this to happen. You can't just like pull up the instrumental, slap on the vocals and be like, boom, done. And you also can't automatically think that you're just going to be able to mix the vocals to sound really good and then just balance the levels and it's going to fit inside of that. You got to actually do some EQ cutting and carving and creating space for things. So we're going to get to showcase some of that as well. So it's good to see all of you here in the chat. Cesar, CJ, Mars the Second, Genesis. Let's see, DJ Big Red 81. Good to see you, buddy. So glad that each and every one of you. Oh, thank you about the MJ reaction video. Yeah, that was, man, those are a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun doing those and I'm learning so much. And that's the great thing about this is it's something that I can do that I really love to do and still help people at the same time. So it's really cool. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into what we have today. So by way of announcements here, we have 1 lead vocal and 2 ad-lib vocals. I've just entitled these background vocals. And then we have the instrumental. So let's take a listen real quick to what we have here. I'm going to play it for just a second. Let me know that you can hear it before I try to play this whole thing here. Okay, so I can see right now that I actually am going to experience some doubling if I don't change some settings here. Okay, let's see if that did it. There we go. There you are. I see you. No matter how you. All right. By way of the chat, please let me know if you are able to hear that. That would I would greatly appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back up now too. Before we get into the thick of this and I do a bunch of stuff and then I'm like, hey, check this out. And you guys are like, we never heard anything. That has happened before, and that's why I'm giving this caveat to please let me know in the chat beforehand. So, by the way, I also wanted to, by way of announcement, while I'm waiting for that to come into the chat, I also wanted to let you know that we are still on board for the IK Multimedia Band Lab giveaway that's happening. We have to still work out a few kinks on the back end, and we're still corresponding back and forth. So, once we get that all lined out, though, you guys will be the first to know about that. I'm going to let you all know ahead of time. So thank you so much, DJ Big Red 81. Let's go ahead and get into the thick of this. All right. So here is what I was delivered. There you are. I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you see. Try and be So yeah, it does need a little bit of help, but it's not too far from being honestly right there. So, and this is going to be sort of a quicker stream today simply because of this. I don't have like 50 tracks to mix and master and try to get everything up to speed for you guys today. So this is actually going to be a little bit quicker. But first off, obviously we got to start with this lead vocal. So I'm going to go ahead and solo the vocal out. I would say that it's not always wise to solo an instrument or a vocal or anything out. You want to be able to hear that in context with a mix. However, sort of the caveat to that is that the vocal is usually the one thing you can solo out and still get good results, because you're going to want that to sit on top anyway. The main reason why you don't solo instruments out whenever you're mixing is because you want to hear them in context with the mix with the other instruments, and they need to blend well. There needs to be a congealing of things. With a lead vocal, it's always going to sit on top, of course, unless it's like EDM or something like that. With that being said, we are going to solo the vocal here. I'm going to go straight into it, and we're going to start diving into some of these typical vocal tips that I'll use here. So first thing right off the bat, let's give it a listen here.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see.
Okay, so I hear a little bit of sibilance, not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and throw on this, throw the depth down just a little bit. In case you cannot see this, I'm using the VX64 vocal strip. This is a stock plugin with Cakewalk by BandLab. And you know what? I'll try to go ahead and stick with nothing but stock plugins today. Maybe that'll actually help people too. So, hey, Hair, what's going on, buddy? And Matt Thompson just jumped in, so thank you so much. Let's see if that made any a difference there in those sibilances.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you see.
The cool thing is you can click this listen button and actually hear exactly what it's taking care of. Okay, so that's a bit too much. We're gonna dial that up a little bit farther here to around 3.5. There we go. Now it's only catching the tip of that sibilance. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that depth up just a little bit higher.
You hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me.
Excellent voice.
'Cause I know the girl who plays in snow and hangs up mistletoe and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put...
Okay, so just real quickly, what I've done here, I've added some compander section here. This is basically compression and expansion. Expansion basically just turns down things whenever the vocalist isn't singing. It's sort of like a noise gate or like a noise suppression. And then the compressor is actually taming the peaks and the dynamics of the vocal. So it's basically bringing the loud parts down and the quieter parts up. So it's kind of leveling things out just a little bit. I'm only going to be barely using it on this section here because later on I'm probably going to end up using a CA2A limiter, and which is typically what I always will do. But let's go ahead and move on now. I've also added some saturation too. I didn't want to forget that. So I've added saturation at the end point here, and that's about 20%, so not much, and then saturation going out as well. So everything being processed in the middle of this, saturation going in, saturation going out. This is just to help kind of warm that vocal up and also give it some fundamental dynamics. Fundamental frequencies, rather.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll...
Okay, so that sounded pretty good right there. I'm going to go ahead and slap on the old CA2A. Set it to limit.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away.
And the reason why I'm doing this is, for one, it's going to help with not having to do as much automation, lazy. And for two, it actually helps to bring up sort of those, the quirks of his voice. And when I say quirks, I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's got this sort of like, not raspiness, but it's like this, I don't know how to explain it, but basically I'm trying to bring out the character of his voice a little bit more. Hey, Josh, what's going on, buddy?
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see.
Okay, and I'm getting about -3 dBs of gain reduction on that. And so the makeup gain, which is automatic on the CA2A, is basically just, yet again, leveling out the dynamics. It's making it sound like you're in the same room with this individual. As far as EQ, let's go ahead and hop on over to that now. And I'm just going to use, yet again, stock EQ. So we're going to use the Pro channel. And we'll just pull this out here. By the way, this is the Sheen theme. Everything kind of looks like an Apple app here. A little shininess to it. If you're interested in getting your hands on this, if you want to become a member of the Patreon community for $1 or more a month, you can get access to this as well as a bunch of other freebies and some really cool multi-tracks. If you want to also join on the YouTube membership, maybe you're more comfortable with that, you can join there at the intern level and get this and another theme as well as some multi-tracks there too. So incentives. So all right, let's go ahead and use this.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me.
Beautiful.
'Cause I know the girl who plays in snow and hangs up mistletoe and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you acting tough, I know it's all a bluff.
Okay, so this is before.
There you are, I see you.
Doesn't sound bad, actually. It's pretty well recorded. It just had a little bit of a muffledness, and also, like most vocals, in fact, every vocal, it's got a little bit of a nasally region in it. And so that's what these cuts were here that I just made. And if you needed to know, that was at like roughly 1,000 kilohertz. And then there was some muddiness, like throaty muddiness down at the 285 hertz region. And then I boosted actually just a little bit around 94 to sort of bring up that low end and give it a little bit more girth. So let's go ahead and take a listen. This was before.
There you are, I see you.
And
no
after?
matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. You try and be.
Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of listening to this with the track itself. Now the track itself, because I believe it's already a mastered track, this was already brought up in the chat. Somebody said, oh, it's kind of overpowering. Well, it probably should be because it's already mastered. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit and I'll bring it up around the vocal here.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me.
Okay, so we're already kind of starting to get there. We're close. We're not all the way there yet, but we're getting there. I'm going to go ahead and throw some console emulation on this as well. Console emulation is just a great way to sort of get things to just saturate nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and go with the N type, which is what I call the neutral. In this case, it would be sort of typical of like a Neve console type of emulation. And we're going to go with that because this vocalist, I think, would actually benefit from that type of saturation. Normally, I'll stick with the S or the subtle type, which is sort of like a different studio desk that I can't really remember right now. But yeah, we're going to go with that. And then we'll move on to these background vocals. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat here and I'm going to copy this stuff down here. And the only major difference that I'm going to do is the EQ is going to be different. However, I'm going to go ahead and use the ballpark EQ that I've already got on the lead vocal because it's the same vocalist doing background vocals. I know I can kind of cheat and get by with it. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these over. Just simply hold the control button, click and drag. And now I'm going to EQ them differently because they are background vocals. So, so rather than boosting these highs right here, what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and make that a bell. I'm going to come down here to around 3,000 kilohertz. I'm going to make the Q a little bit wider, and I'm going to dip that down by about 3 dBs. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll actually do something a little bit different here. So let's set this. Okay, let's move that up here. Let's go set this one where the other one was. And we're going to use this one for the 3,000 kilohertz. And we'll leave that low end alone on those background vocals. Make that wider. Dip her down about 3 dBs. Do a little dipper down. Okay, we're going to leave that like it is. That's taking care of some honkiness there. And then we can actually boost those highs without it affecting too much. And I'm going to boost them around 6,500 kilohertz. That's usually where the sort of character of the vocal is. So I've cut it at 3,000 to give room for the lead vocalist. So they should set back, nestle back just fine. And then still be able to get that high end in there. Now these are panned left and right. Or at least they are now. That should also improve the stereo spread. Let's take a listen.
There you are, I see you. No matter how
okay, I'm
you
gonna turn them down.
I'll always see the light you silhouette. Try and be a wildcat.
That's pretty close right there.
A hound dog wanna bark at all you see, but you're not.
Thank you so much, Pro Influence. Let's take a listen here.
'Cause I know the girl who lays in snow and hangs up mistletoe.
All right, so the next thing we got to use now to really congeal all of this together is our famous reverb trick. So we got to actually add some reverb into this mix to get it to really shine through. So first things first, though, I want to figure out what the average BPM of this is. So I'm going to go ahead and slap this here on the master bus. This may be the only non-stock plugin that I use today. But however, this one is free. You can get a free version of this, and it's super, super useful. So whenever I play this,
there you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you silhouette. Try and be a wild.
So it's telling me that the average BPM is around 148. Now this doesn't have to be spot on, like you better have it right or else, but it definitely helps to at least get into the ballpark. So what we're going to do now is go over to the Home Studio Simplified website. Okay, and over here, we're going to find a reverb and delay calculator. And then within here, we're going to type in 148 as our beats per minute. Going to hit enter, and that tells me that at 148 beats per minute, a quarter note will have a duration of 405.41 milliseconds. All right, so that's going to dictate now what kind of reverb settings that we're going to use. So on this very first one, we are going to go, we'll just go with a, see, I said I was going to use stock. So let me use some stock reverb here. This song is actually rather catchy. So we use the Sonitus reverb. This is a stock reverb. Nothing too flashy here. Okay, I believe that was 405. Like I said, yep, 405.41. So thank you, by the way, DJ, for putting that in the chat, because I had already forgot about it. A squirrel. It's a squirrel. Okay, so we're not going to mess with the pre-delay. We're going to go ahead and leave that alone. Room size, we're going to go ahead and leave that at 50. Diffusion, we'll leave it just right where it's at. And then our dry, we're going to take this all the way down. So that's a wet reverb. Early reflections, we'll leave there. We'll leave there. Okay, our decay time, this is what we're wanting to change. So right now it's at 1.5 seconds. That's actually quite large. So we're going to go to 0.405. Okay, but we're actually going to half that for our plate. So we're going to go to 0.202, whatever. So this will be our small. Okay, we'll copy this over. Our medium, which will be the quarter note that we just set. And then our long reverb will be twice that. So we're going to set that to 0.808. All right. Just leave those settings just like they are, because honestly, it doesn't really look too bad. And I've got EQ on those buses as well. You want to EQ your reverb buses. That way you don't get too much muddiness going on there. All right. Now we're going to go back to these vocals. And we are going to insert a send to the short room. Insert a send to our medium plate. Insert a send to long haul. And now we're going to blend these in to taste. So I'm going to bring all of them down. And as this is playing, I'm going to go ahead and blend all of those back in. Okay, so DJ 𝗶𝘅 𝗧𝗿 is all over it. Let me make sure I got this. Yep, okay.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you silhouette. Try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me.
Nice.
'Cause I know the girl who lays in the snow, hangs up mistletoe, and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it's yours, and it's yours, no matter how you act and talk. I know it's all in love, and you can try and hide your smile, but it's yours, and it's yours.
All right, I'm going to put more reverb on these background vocals than I do on the lead vocals, as far as the long haul and the medium plate, or the medium room, whatever you want to call it, simply because I want them to sort of be drowned out in that reverb more. I want them to be focused more to the back of the mix. And so reverb is a great way to push things back or bring them forward into the mix, by the way. Thank you, Marvin, for subscribing. Appreciate that, buddy. DJ 𝗶𝘅 says, "Hey, Robert, on one of your videos, you added 2 halls and panned them left and right. Would you do it with this song, or does it depend?" Honestly, it just depends. It's a stylistic choice. After listening to this, I may end up doing that. I'm not sure.
There you are.
So that's what the background vocals are sounding like.
Always see.
A little bit more reverb on them versus what we're hearing on this lead vocal. So take a listen to the lead.
There you are, I see you. No matter.
If you listen to it, though, it's a little bit more centered in the, it's a little bit more focused in the center, not just because it's panned in the center, but even the reverb itself sounds like it's more in the center. So we're going to go ahead and put all of these together, and this is what you get.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you silhouette.
Okay, now I'm going to look at the levels here on, oops. I forgot which button does that. Oh, it's that one. Anyway, I'm going to look at the levels here on these backing vocals. And what I want to see is how close they are to being matched.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. You try and be a wildcat, a hound
Okay, so it looks like this
dog,
track here needs to come up a little bit more.
all you see, but you're not fooling me. 'Cause I know the girl who plays in snow and hangs up mistletoe.
Okay, so now those background vocals are just a bit much after they've been balanced out, so I'm going to bring them down just a tad.
There you are.
Awesome. That sounded perfect. And I am going to do a little bit more EQ carving on those too. Sound like they just need to nestle in there a little bit better. I could have swore that I changed that. How did that go back? You guys seen me change that, right? I bet I copied it over to the... Oh, man. I tell you what. That's why it wasn't sounding right. Okay, no problem. 998. 3000. Bring that up to 6. That was weird. Okay. Widen that Q. 3 dBs. Now let's give it a listen.
There you are.
There we go.
I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away.
Okay. Now let's hear this in context with the mix and see how close we're getting. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty close.
There you are. I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. Try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me. 'Cause I know the girl who plays in snow and hangs up mistletoe and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, no matter how you act and talk. I know it's all in love, and you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, I see it. I know you don't believe me, but I see the diamond in the rain. And I know you're working hard, it shows, so don't ever doubt your glow. There's nothing in your way.
Nice.
And you can try and hide what's deep inside, the secrets in your eyes and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, no matter how you act and tough. I know it's all in love, and you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows, and it shows, and it shows, and it shows, yeah, it shows. And you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows.
Okay, so now I'm just throwing on M Auto Pitch. I know I said I was going to use nothing but stock plugins. Here I go, using M Auto Pitch. Yet again, this is another one that is free, actually, from 𝗏𝗲 Production. So go and check them out. By the way, I've just become a recent affiliate of 𝗏𝗲 Production. Thank you so much for that, 𝗏𝗲. 𝗏𝗏 Audio. But yeah, this is a free M Auto Pitch. It's not as transparent as I'd like for it to be. You can see I dialed down the depth quite a bit, but you can get crazy with it and go crazy.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog.
You know what? Actually, that just doesn't, that's not doing it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here and select Melodyne. That's definitely transparent. Now, this used to be included with Cakewalk by BandLab. Unfortunately, it's not anymore. Unfortunately. They do have some great sales going on right now, of which I have also become an affiliate of, if you want to go and check that out. So as we can see right here, his pitch isn't like too terribly off. And that's what I knew when I dialed that back down very subtly. I knew it wasn't going to require much. So I'm going to go ahead, and this will not hurt to actually pitch center quite a bit because it's already close. And I'll go ahead and give that a listen. Hey, Gary, what's up?
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me. 'Cause I know the girl who plays in snow and hangs up mistletoe.
Okay, so that's definitely where it needs to be. Like I said, that wasn't very far off at all. So kudos to him for his singing. Hey, thank you, Saint Delu Mix. We got a newbie. Good to have you here. Give you a big crowd cheer for being a newbie. All right, now we're going to listen to my dog bark because my wife just got home. And okay, we're going to go ahead and just real quickly clean up these background vocals too. Okay. And yet again, we shouldn't have to do it much. I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to go through there and do what needs to be done. Hey, Pete, what is up, buddy? Another first timer, or at least if you're not a first timer, I don't know if I've ever seen you in the chat. So it's good to see you, buddy. I will refrain from trying to say your last name because I probably would mess that up. Hey, thank you, Nathaniel O'Connor, for subscribing. Appreciate it, buddy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and render these out. All right, let's give it a listen now.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you see in the way. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me. 'Cause I know the girl who lays in snow and hangs up mistletoe and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. You can put up a fight, but it's yours, and it's yours, no matter how you act and tough. I know it's all in love, and you can try and hide your smile, but it's yours, and it's yours. I see it, I know you don't believe me, but I see.
Okay, I'm going to adjust those levels a little bit more on the reverbs.
And I know you're working hard, it shows, so don't ever doubt your glow. There's nothing in your way, and you can try and hide what's deep inside, the secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it's yours, and it's yours, no matter how you act and tough. I know it's all in love, and you can try and hide your smile, but it's yours, and it's yours,
Okay, here we go.
and it shows, 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 and it shows. Yeah. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows, no matter how.
Okay, so now it's all starting to sort of congeal together a little bit better. I feel like the vocals are still setting a little bit too far on top for my liking. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get them nestled into the mix a little bit better with just a little bit of a volume dip here. Not too much, just by a dB. I feel like the background vocals are definitely where they need to be now. But I'm going to go ahead and throw on the the T-Rex 1. You guys got to check this out. If you are into making your own music, mixing, mastering, whatever it might be, this, you got to have this plugin. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to turn all this down here, and let's bring it up now. This is going to keep it from clipping. This should make everything sort of just congeal together like I'm wanting it
There
to.
you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you see in the way. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but
There it
you're
is.
not fooling me. 'Cause I know the girl who lays in snow and hangs up mistletoe and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. You can put up a fight, but it's yours.
Okay, so if you wanted to do this with a free plugin, a stock plugin, we can use that as well. We'll just go to the dynamics section and we'll go into our compressors. Actually, I need to add that into my Cakewalk plugin manager, actually. So I need to go open up my folder here. And in the dynamic section, go to limiters, and I need to actually add where is it? That's the multi-band. Where's it at? It's like the brick wall here. Maybe it's in here. Let's see. Where's it at? LPEQ, LPMB. I know what I'm looking for, but I can't even remember the name of it right now. It's like, it's eluding me. It's the stock Cakewalk limiter. This is why you don't need 1,000,000,001 plugins. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Well, at one point in time, it was in here. I just redid the plugin menus here because I was doing a video for them, and then I think I forgot it. Found it. Okay. So it's the adaptive limiter. That's the one I was looking for. Save the changes. Yes. Yes. Okay. Come down here. And now it should be in here. Whew. Okay. Now this was yet again a stock plugin within Cakewalk. I like the Boost 11, but there's things about the Boost 11 that I don't like. So I actually prefer this one.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you see away. Try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me. 'Cause I know the girl who lays in snow hangs up mistletoe, and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. You can put up a fight, but it's yours, and it's yours. No matter how you act and tough, I know it's all in love. And you can try and hide the smile, but it's yours, it's yours. I see it, I know you don't believe me, but I see the diamond in the rain. And I know you're working hard, it shows. So don't ever doubt your growth. There's nothing in your way. And you can try and hide what's deep inside. Secrets in your eyes and all that's in your mind.
Okay, so I've added some delays now to these background vocals. I think it will help them to stand out apart and also give them a little bit more depth.
I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows, no matter how you acting tough, I know it's all of love, and you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the doubler as well, because I think that added a little bit of depth to them as well. So this hopefully should be pretty close to done, other than just like some automation and stuff like that, which I'll do probably off of stream.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you silhouette. Try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me, 'cause I know the girl who lays in snow hangs up mistletoe, and all you wanna show, and I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows, no matter how you act and tough, I know it's all in love, and you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows. I see it, I know you don't believe
Listen
me,
for the delays.
but I see the diamond in the rain, and I know you're working hard, it shows, so don't ever doubt your goal, there's nothing in your way, and you can try and hide what's deep inside, secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind, but I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows, no matter how you act and tough, I know it's all in love, and you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows, and it shows, and it shows, and it shows, yeah, it shows, and it shows, and it shows, yeah. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows, no matter how.
That's a really good question. As far as LUFS, I'm actually wanting to be shooting for -14, which is sort of like the industry standard for streaming services. So this is definitely shooting way above that. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments here. So I'm gonna turn all this down before it goes into the limiter.
There you are, I see you. No matter how
Now we're
you
getting closer.
hide, I'll always see the light you silhouette. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me, 'cause I know the girl who lays in snow hangs up mistletoe, and all you wanna show, and I can see it in your eyes, the way the
Yeah, I'm definitely not happy with where those LUFS are setting. So I'm going to go ahead and try to, that's usually adjustments that need to be made on the master bus. There's probably some low end information that needs to be taken care of. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and set that accordingly. And let's take a look at this.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away.
Free plugin, by the way.
Try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me. 'Cause I know the girl who lays in snow and hangs up mistletoe and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. You can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you act and talk, I know it's all in love. And you can try and hide the smile, but it shows, and it shows. I see it, I know you don't believe me, but I see the diamond in the rain. And I know you're working hard, it shows. So don't ever doubt your glow. There's nothing in your way. And you can try and hide what's deep inside, secrets in your eyes and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you act and tough, I know it's all in love. And you can try and hide the smile, but it shows, and it shows. And it shows, and it shows. And it shows, yeah, it shows. And it shows, and it shows.
We're getting closer now.
And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you act and talk, I know it's all in love. And you can try to hide the smile, but it shows, and it shows. And it shows, and it shows. 'Cause it shows.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the loudest portion of this song, and I think that would be like right here. We're going to loop this here for a second, just so I can dial some last things in. The reason why you want to get to -14 LUFS, or at least close to it, is because when you upload this to streaming services, it won't sound distorted or garbled.
What's deep inside, secrets in your eyes and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you act and tough, I know see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you act and tough, I know it's all love. And you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows. You can try and hide what's deep inside, the secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you act and tough, I know it's all love. And you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows. You can try and hide what's deep inside, the secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you act and tough, I know it's all love. And you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows. You can try.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to try to get this dialed in just a little bit better, and setting around -12 now at the loudest part, which that's not bad at all. That will actually pass most streaming services, and it will be such a minimal amount of digital distortion that you wouldn't even hear it, honestly. But I am going to go ahead and try to do a little bit of, I haven't actually touched the instrumental track yet, so I'm going to try to do a little bit of EQ on that instrumental track. Hopefully that will help things.
And hide what's deep inside, the secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows. No matter how you act and tough, I know it's all love. And you can try and hide your smile, but it shows, and it shows. You can try and hide what's deep inside, the secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can.
All right, so now we are definitely getting a lot closer than what we were. I'm going to go ahead and do a little ditty here. And where did that just go? I inserted it and it disappeared. There it is. Okay, I'm going to throw this right next to our master. And I'm going to call this Master PC. Okay. So I'm going to throw, let's see here. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. I don't have to deal with these, so these don't need to be there. This don't need to be here. Okay, and all of them tracks actually didn't need to be included either. That was just extras. So, honestly, I think we're there.
What's deep inside,
right, so one last thing that I feel like I need to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and create a vocals bus. This is where all the Vox are going to go. So I'm going to call it Vox. And I'm going to go ahead and send all of these vocals to that Vox bus. So now they're all being rerouted to here. I'll go ahead and color it blue to make it easier to see. And I'm going to move it over here. But then I'm going to actually put a stock plugin on here. I'm going to use and I don't have it on here. So I'm going to go. All right, going to get the old Sonotest compressor, take that down there. I'm going to set the release very quickly, like 20 milliseconds. And the attack, very quick as well. Now I'm going to create a send from this vocal bus to the side chain of the instrumental. So every time the vocals begin to come in, I want to turn down this instrumental just by about like 1 or 2 dBs, just enough to give those vocals a little bit more breath. Let's try it.
What's deep inside, secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, no matter how you act and tough. I know it's all love, and you can try and hide the smile, but it shows, and it shows. You can try and hide what's deep inside, secrets in your eyes, and all that.
Okay, so now what I've done is every single time that the vocals begin to go, and now my wife is sweeping, every single time that the vocals begin to go, begin to sing rather, it's turning down that backing track, that instrumental, by about 1.6, 1.5 dBs. So this is like giving that backing track the full force that it needs to have, the loudness that it needs to have. But then when the vocals come in, it just like sort of rides with those vocals. I deeply apologize about what's going on in the background. It sounds like a war zone out here.
What's deep inside, secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, no matter how you act and tough. I know it's all love, and you can try and hide the smile, but it shows, and it shows, and it shows, and it shows, and it shows, yeah, it shows, and it shows, and it shows, yeah. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows, no matter how you act and tough. I know it's all love, and you can try and hide the smile, but it shows, and it shows, and it shows, and it shows, 'cause it shows, and it shows, and it shows, and it shows.
Okay, so now aside from some automation, which would take forever to do on a live stream, I think we're really close. I've got my LUFS not exactly where I'd like for it to be, but I think automation might even help with that. But I've definitely got the mix sounding like it's all congealing very well together. It's sounding like something you would hear on the radio. There are still some anomalies here in this lead vocal where I feel like there's just minor points where I want to tune the vocal, nothing too major. And then also the lead vocal still has a little bit of a nasally, or not even like a nasally. It's more like almost like a brassy, tinny sound. I can't quite put my finger on it. But I think, oh, you know what? I just created a vocal bus. So I'm going to go ahead and use a non-stock plugin here, and we're going to use some Soothe 2 on this lead vocal. And we're just going to take out a little bit of honk. Now you could definitely do this without Soothe 2. I'm just using this because it's quicker.
There you are, I see you. No matter how you hide, I'll always see the light you seal away. You try and be a wildcat, a hound dog, wanna bark at all you see, but you're not fooling me.
There we go.
'Cause I know the girl who plays in snow and hangs up mistletoe and all you wanna show. And I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine. And you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows, no matter how you act and tough. I know it's all in love, and you can try and hide the smile, but it shows, and it shows. I see it, I know you don't believe me, but I see the diamond in the rain. And I know you're working hard, it shows, so don't ever doubt your glow. There's nothing in your way, and you can try and hide what's deep inside. See?
Okay, right there. If you work in smaller sections with Melodyne, it also loads up a lot quicker. Just a little bit of got a little pitchy there.
What's deep inside? What's deep inside? Secrets in your...
Fixed. You know, I didn't actually have a vocal bus to begin with. So with that being said, I actually could go ahead and add that to the bus now, but I've already got it on these, and it's not like I'm dealing with 50 tracks here, so no biggie.
What's deep inside? Secrets in your eyes, and all that's in your mind. But I can see it in your eyes, the way the stars seem to shine, and you can put up a fight, but it shows, and it shows, no matter how you act and tough. I know it's all in love,
Nice.
And it shows, and it shows.
All right, so apart from just a little bit of automation, like I've said before, I think everything is honestly right where it needs to be. So it didn't take a whole lot of time. It didn't take as much crazy mixing ninja tricks like it normally does when we have like 30 or 40 tracks we're dealing with here. But at least you got to kind of see the difference between mixing like a full-blown production that has the tracks split out versus mixing something that has a stem, in this case, where it's just the instrumental and the vocals that need to set into it. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to try to get off of here now and figure out why the dog is going crazy. Hopefully everyone's all right in there. But before we go, let's give a quick shout out to these individuals. These are the recent subscribers. In fact, we got quite a few of these while we were streaming today. So thank you guys so much. We do this every single week, and we do this, you know, in various different phases and facets. Sometimes we have Q&A sessions. Sometimes we have live mixing sessions. Well, every month we at least have one live mixing session. But if you're interested in something like this, continue subscribing yourself and go ahead and click the bell icon and enable all notifications, because that's where it's at. That way you'll actually get notified of all of the awesomeness that's coming up. And before we go, of course, we got to do something. We've got to spin the wheel of awesomeness. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the wheel of awesomeness. We can't leave without spinning the wheel, right, Robert? This is where I'm supposed to act like 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗂𝗀, and my voice is not letting me do it right now. Trivia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's some trivia for you right out of the gate. If you've stuck around the channel for very long, then some trivia that you might need to know. Who was the guest that we had on the 10,000 subscriber giveaway? We only had one guest. Who was he? There's your trivia for today. All right. So before we end today's live stream, I want to thank each and every one of you who showed up today. I hope that you learned something from this live stream today. If you did, share it with another friend of yours, a music lover, an audio engineer, someone who's just starting out that wants to know the ins and outs of this. This is really the ideal audience that I'm trying to appeal to and to reach to, are individuals who are just starting out that want to know exactly what is all of this stuff. I want to help to simplify that. So let's see. It looks like I got a question here. I want to make sure I get that answered. That's not the one. Okay, that's not the question. You said that you don't like waves. I can't get Doubler to work. Any ideas? Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't like waves. Waves are just not cool. Not just for that reason, though. It stems back to something even deeper. There was a point in time when I had a plugin that would not work, that they had not given me, but I'd bought, and the customer support was horrible. And I would definitely reach out to customer support, but good luck. I'm sorry. I can't, yeah. I can't make any promises. So, well, thank you guys so much. I don't see any other questions. So, and we got some, yes, you are correct. Warren Hewitt was the guest. Thank you guys for remembering that. Gary, you're awesome, man. Keep it up, buddy. All right. So thank you all, each and every one of you, for being on the live stream again today. I appreciate each and every one of you, by the way. And if you have not yet, please consider becoming a Patreon member. It doesn't cost any more a month than it does for a trip to Starbucks just to get started out. And at the higher tier that you go up, the more that you will get from that site. Likewise, when I reach a certain tier, a certain monthly income, I'm going to start buying gear, reviewing that gear, and then giving it back to only Patreon members. So with the less that there is in there, actually, the better. So I guess I shouldn't do that. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and end today's live stream. I got a really quick question. 𝗍𝗵𝗲 vocal doubler. Yep, that's a good one. I would definitely recommend that. 𝗍𝗵𝗲 makes some great stuff. How do you get your Artura MK2 to work with Cakewalk? That might be a whole nother video, honestly. for a different time. But it is possible. In fact, I think if you look at my Cakewalk by BandLab tutorials playlist, you should be able to find something in there. So until next time, guys, remember, we can dream alone. We can even create alone.